So there are times in life when it feels like nothing is working, nothing is moving, that God isn't answering your prayers, that you feel like you can't quite get the direction you need. I certainly have felt that way. And in fact, sadly, I felt that way for a lot of years now. One of the things I really didn't want to do was to move to Germany. And so since I've been here, I've been seeking God. Like, why do you have me here? Because I know since it wasn't my choice, that it has to be your will for my life. And so I decided this year to surrender to that. But I can tell you that hasn't been easy. So recently I was listening to a sermon by my pastor who's back home in Rocky Mount, Pastor G, shout out to Word Tab. And he shared from Psalm 42. It really spoke to me because he said, and he talked about in the scripture where it says, as the deer pants for the streams of water, so my soul for you, God. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. And so there has been a thirstiness, this deep dryness inside somewhat of my heart about my direction. What should I be doing with my time? Because I work here part-time and I don't have the heart and the energy to push towards building the business that I once had. I just don't have it. And I had to give myself permission to say, it's okay that I don't want that anymore. I do want to help people, and I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that without it being a business. But I'm trusting God for revealing it, even though the time that I'm in this waiting period has been frustrating and sad and hard. But one of the things in the scripture that Pastor led us to was when he said, remember, so it says that my soul is downcast within me. Therefore, I will remember you from the land of the Jordan. So I took time and I remember all the times when God came through, all the times when I wasn't sure things was going to work out, or I had these desires and they hadn't come forth, but yet God came through. And I remember, honestly, I remember when I would suffer miscarriage after miscarriage after miscarriage, and we so desperately wanted a baby. And I remember the first miscarriage, God spoke to me and said, you're going to have a son. And then I had another miscarriage, then I had another miscarriage. And the doctors was like, we got to figure out why these pregnancies are stopping. And then I got pregnant. And I knew. And they said, they was excited. The doctors was excited. We have this person. And I'm like, it's a boy. I was sure that it was a boy. And I did. I had my son. And so I remember I'm working on just writing down the times so I had deep desires. And God answered the prayer. And so I remember desiring to stand on stages and have an opportunity to do that over and over again in Beijing. And I remember the times where I desired friendships and God brought me new people over and over again. So I'm remembering. So I encourage you, if this is a dry season for you, if you are stressed and you're trying to figure out your next move and it seems like God is quiet, remember, just take down and jot all the things that he's done in the past so that your heart may be encouraged. Hope this helps. Peace.